Ribe, a former Citizen TV journalist, was acquitted of the murder charge by Lady Just, found as the main suspect in the murder of Monica Nyawira Kimani on the night of 19th September 2018 in Nairobi's Kilimani area.
Leads to a strong conclusion that the first accused person murdered the deceased. And in this case, the first accused, I'm still on the first accused person, committed that offense. And therefore I find the first accused person guilty as charged of the offense of murder, that on the night of 19th of September 2018, at an unknown time at Ramuria Gardens apartment, Kitale Lane off Dennis Bridge, with others known before this court, he murdered Monica Nyawira Kimani. The evidence by the prosecution against the second accused person did not place the second accused person in the house of the deceased on the material night.
Joey appeared in court with his mother and clutching a Bible in hand. Joey had been in remand for 18 months where he was detained at the Committee Maximum Prison and later Manyani Maximum Prison before he was released and granted bail. He has since turned into a musician. Dr. Ngani reporting for EBN TV.
Thank you, Ngani, for that report. Now, President William Ruto has made fresh changes to the Foreign Service docket by nominating new ambassadors, high commissioners, and permanent representatives in Kenya's mission abroad. Among the nominees include at least 6 chief administrative secretaries whose appointments were revoked by the Nairobi court for being illegal. Now, this includes former Kisumu Senator Fred Outa, who has been nominated to be Kenya's ambassador to Egypt, and former Kisii Deputy Governor Joash Mangi, who has been nominated as the country's High Commissioner to Uganda. Also nominated is former Communications Authority of Kenya Director General Ezra Chiloba, who has been tapped to be Kenya's new Consul General in Los Angeles, USA. Former Law Society of Kenya Vice President Caroline Kamende Daudi, who just lost out in the presidential race to Faith Odhiambo, also gets a soft landing with a nomination to serve as Kenya's High Commissioner to Canada. Now, Kenya is having a deficit of more than 400 physicians, which makes it hard for management of some diseases. Speaking during the Kenya Association of Physicians conference in Eldoret, physicians say that there is need for physicians to be incorporated in management of health in the country, saying that there are few in management, which makes it hard to manage diseases. The physicians argue that if they are incorporated, it will be the first step in managing the disease in the country instead of using more money to treating diseases which can be managed.
We have noted that there's clearly a gap in terms of management of our patients. In as much as we have the latest technology, the drugs, we seem to be missing the gap. And the gap we found is that we don't have enough specialists. Currently, we're only about 400 physicians in the country against a population of 51 million. So there's clearly a deficit of over 100%, and we're trying to bridge this gap. And that is why, as an association, we have created a college called the Eastern Central Southern Africa College of Physicians. Now, what is the theme behind this? We found that there's clearly a gap in research. We keep talking about Western numbers, but we're not generating enough data and research on where the problem areas are. And one of the gaps we've noted is, one, we need to work in cohesion as all societies in the country. Number two, there's a clear deficit in terms of training, and then in terms of management and screening. doing. So this year we are focusing on, instead of encouraging patients to come to hospital when they are sick, how about presenting earlier just for medical checkups? Because when you present initially to the clinic, the nurse will screen and check your blood pressure. You probably came for a flu, but then at the end of the day discover you have diabetes and high blood pressure. And lucky for you, if a specialist is on board, we start you on management so that you don't end up on dialysis, which would have come 10 years earlier. We can actually postpone that, because clearly there's a staggering difference in terms of economic expenditure. What does this translate to? Quite a number of our population is spending so much time in the hospitals, and that means we are reducing our productivity of our young population. And then because we have quite a number of the elderly population, that still brings a gap. So we want to be involved in policy change, and that's why we have even invited the governor of Uasin Gishu today, so that we can start talking with government and change policy in terms of management.
We have got very few physicians in the country, and that therefore means that, and in fact, most of the physicians are centered around the major cities, which is Nairobi, Mombasa, Eldoret, Kisumu, and so on.
The manufacture, sale and consumption of illicit alcohol and narcotic drugs is a major national security threat that the government will eradicate ruthlessly to protect and secure present and future generations. Security managers countrywide have been directed by the Ministry of Interior to ensure strict enforcement of the policy and operational guidelines issued by the government in eradication of poisonous and toxic substances. Now, Cabinet Secretary for Interior Professor Kithure Kindiki held an early morning consultative forum with Kiambu County Security and the Intelligence Committee on commencement of the nationwide crackdown on manufacture, distribution, sale and consumption of illicit liquor, narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances.
In the past, operations of this nature, especially in this area of drugs and alcohol, have been frustrated by political interferences. The politicization of the fight against narcotic drugs and illicit alcohol consumption and sale has always been frustrated by politicization. I remember in the past there's a time when politicians in this region were leading the war against drugs. Now, how does a member of parliament, an MCA, how do they get involved in law enforcement? So please note that this is purely a law enforcement matter. And therefore, we do not expect any reference whatsoever to political issues, and this has nothing to do with politicians. The best thing politicians can do is to sensitize the public that this operation is for the national interest and is for saving our current and future generations from collapse.
Now, still in the same meeting, Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has announced immediate implementation of the 3-year transfer policy for police officers. Now, officers who have overstayed in police stations to receive transfer orders beginning this morning. And according to the Interior Boss, the 3-year transfer policy must apply mandatory for all police officers countrywide. Now, all police officers who have served in one station for more than 3 years will be transferred to eliminate conflict of interest, guard against internal sabotage, and enhance service delivery in the security sector.
Other than conflict of interest, there has been a problem of officers who have stayed in one station for long. Not at your level. The command level, 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, isn't it? You're transferred. But your juniors, there are characters there who have stayed in one police station, junior officers, for 9 years, 15 years, 7 years, 8 years. They have local interests. They have ventured into businesses there in the local area. They are part of the local community. Some of them have married their first or second or third wives there, so they have relatives there, and they are the ones who have entered into the unholy alliance with some of the people who are destroying the country, and they are the ones even who arrange protection fees. So the commanders are actually introduced into this thing when they arrive. We'll show you how things are done here. And some of those junior officers can be very rude. They even, in some instances, insubordinate their superiors. And they tell their superiors, we have been here for 10 years. We saw other people, they came and went. So likewise, you hang around, you'll also go, you leave us here.
Now, residents of Shinyalu and surrounding areas had the unique opportunity to meet judges and other employees of the Kakamega Court in a meeting that is set to give motivation about the law held in Lubao Market. This is after it was found that a large number of cases in the Kakamega courts are about land issues, while chiefs and their deputies are widely blamed for accepting bribes in trying to resolve land disputes in rural areas. Addressing the meeting, Kakamega High Court Judge Patrick Otieno revealed that most of the cases brought before the court are related to land. A Court of Appeal Judge Aggrey Muchelule, who attended the event, expressed his concern about the exclusion of male children in efforts to improve the lives of the female child.
Kama una shida ya shamba, unafikiria ulinyang'anywa shamba, ama unanyang'anya mtu shamba na anajaribu kuipokea, pia kuna hiyo koti ya mashamba tu, hiyo sikiza tu mashamba. Ukitoka hapa, nenda kule utasaidiwa. Pia kuna mahakama kuu. Sasa mahakama kuu inasikiza kila kitu. Ukiwa na shida yoyote, ukienda ukatakao mpotea njia, watakuonesha mahali pa kwenda. Ukienda uko na small claim, watakusikiza, lakini wakuambia enda kwa ile koti ingine. Hapa hujafika, enda kwa ile ingine, iko hapo.
Lazima tupeleke watoto wetu wavulana shuleni. Mliona, ukiita chief ni mama, ukiita SCC ni mama, ukiita DPP ni mama, ukiita kila mtu ni mama. Chief Justice ni mama, Deputy Chief Justice ni mama, Chief Registrar ambaye ameretire ni mama. Wazee wenzangu ambao mmeketi hapa, mmezaa wasichana, mmezaa wavulana. Lazima tuimize watoto wetu vijana waende shule.
I am a big supporter of an independent judiciary. I'm a big supporter of a well-resourced judiciary. Kwa sababu wale ambao walitutangulia, wale kina baba zetu, kina babu zetu, hawakuwa wazimu, ndio hata kwa nyumba yetu ya kitaifa, nyumba yetu ya taifa wakasema kwamba haki iwe ngao na nini? Na mlinzi, si ndio? Kwamba tutilie mkazo mambo ya kusomesha vijana wetu.
Now, academic women have congratulated President William Ruto for his statement that women should be given the opportunity to be a president in Kenya. Now, speaking at the celebration of the International Women's Day at Baraton University in Nandi County, they mentioned that it is a manifestation of the government's intention to involve women in politics and leadership in Kenya. In addition, they urged women to come forward to compete for positions in schools in order to prepare them for the national leadership positions.
I want to challenge the young ladies to aspire for leadership while they're young. Let them integrate gender issues with what they are learning. I also want to challenge them to try and develop interest in so many other things. I want to challenge the men, also young men. They know where they have come from. There are many women who have supported them. Let us support our mothers. Let us support women. And I also urge the government of Kenya to really be behind support for 2/3 gender principle. Apparently that is where what I've been doing.
Many women have abilities, they have potentials. We can rise to these positions without affirmative actions. But there's this fear of success among many women. we do not even want to be seen as leading. We get embarrassed by that. We need to shed off that and begin to look at it squarely. We can work together with these men. They are our brothers, and having a president who is male and perhaps even female, and the other partner deputing being female is good for our country.
Here at the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, it is in our constitution that as you vie for a presidential position, you should either be deputized by a male or a female. You cannot vie as male as both gender.
Now, some organizations continue to fulfill President William Ruto's call to ensure that a total of 50 billion trees are planted in the country. And speaking to journalists during the 440,000 mangrove planting exercise in the Jomvu Creek area, Kenya Pipeline Commission Oil Company Manager Director Joe Sang said that the importance of mangrove planting helps in strengthening the economy of small constituencies. On his part, the Chief Forest Protection Officer in the country, Alex Lemarkoko, has said that those who are involved in cutting down trees have their iron in the fire, while giving the example of arrest of 8 young people in Kilifi County so far.
We are looking also to adopt other forests across the country, but this is our main one.
So 50
hectares.
In coast region.
50 hectares here in this Jomvu Creek, in mangrove. Okay. Yes.
But today, yes, basically we are engaging in planting of the mangroves for purposes of stabilizing our coastal ecosystem. We also realize that mangroves offer a transitional space between the terrestrial and marine ecosystem, and they stabilize the interface area, and they also act as a habitat for various microorganisms, including a large biodiversity within the coastal region. There has been challenges that require the two institutions to come together and address those challenges, including ensuring that the pipeline section that is within the forest is secure, and that requires joint interventions. And thus, actually, the MOU looks at all those factors, including this one of planting mangroves, as well as restoring other forest ecosystems. So we are very happy because KPC has shown other institutions the way. This is how it is supposed to be done. Besides what they do, we really encourage them to plant, to engage in tree growing and supporting conservation. And I want to commend the MD for Kenya Pipeline Company, because they have actually, I think they are leading in terms of the engagements of various government institutions. 1,000 propagules having been planted, and all of them have survived because of their commitment. That is very commendable. So we are happy, and we know that going forward we are going to have a very good relationship that is going to be beneficial to the conservation agenda of this country.
The AIPCK Church across the country has held elections with the elected leaders who will be at the leadership of the church for a period of 5 years before another election is held. While addressing the media at the main offices of the church located in Githunguri, Kiambu County, the Archbishop of the church, David Gatimu, said that the election involved all leaders from all 47 counties, while stating that they will cooperate in leading Christians of the church and will incite unity so as to help steer projects forward. While the chairperson of the church says that the main goal of the church is to bring Kenyans together, while one of the elected representatives for women says the opportunity she gets will use to raise women spiritually as well as economically so that they can support themselves in life.
Leo tumekuwa na uchaguzi, na uchaguzi huu umekuwa huwa unafanyika kila baada ya miaka mitano. Kwa hivyo wale ambao wamechaguliwa sasa watakaa miaka mitano. Baada ya miaka hiyo mitano tutachaguana tena, kwa sababu sio vizuri mtu akae pale kama maisha yake yote yako pale kanisani. Maana tunataka wawe wale ambao wanachaguana wanapatia mtu new mandate ndio waweze kufanya kazi nzuri. Hao walikuwa wamechaguana, walikuwa wametoka tuseme Kenya mzima. Maana kanisa letu limewakilishwa kila mahali, karibu sehemu zote tuko na watu ambao walikuwa wamefika siku ya leo kwa sababu ya uchaguzi huu ambao ni uchaguzi mkuu. Unajua kanisa letu sisi huwa nakafanya kazi katika hali ya kushauriana. Ile tunaita consultation. Kwa hivyo hawa ambao wamechaguliwa, mimi nikiwa kama the archbishop, hawa watu wako katika ile board, taingia katika board. Na unajua kuna ile inaitwa the synod, the bishop synod, ambaye mimi ndio chairman wa bishop synod. Ile kitu ambayo inafanyika katika kanisa letu, sisi hatufanyi kama bila kuhusisha ile utawala wa wazee, ambao hata sisi pia makuhani ni sehemu ya ile bishop, ile inaitwa national board. Kwa hivyo ile kitu chochote ambao tunafanya ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunafanya kazi vizuri pamoja na wale, sio kusema ati sisi tunafanya kivyetu na wale wafanye kivyao. Tunafanya pamoja kama team ndio tuweze kufaulu.
Jina yangu ni George Ruvamukura, ambaye leo amechaguliwa kama national chairman. Kwa hivyo vision yetu kanisa itaendelea kuwa kubwa. Kwa wakati huu tuko na makanisa 250, iendelee kuwa zaidi, na tuko na membership ya watu karibu 1,000,000. Tunataka hiyo iendelee ndio. Sasa hata Mungu wakati atarudi atupatie uzima.
Now let's get sporty. Soya Awards celebrations are organized annually in the country to reward the best athletes of the year, from high schools to international athletes. Players and coaches train themselves to get this award, as did Isaac Muresia, the best coach of the year 2023 for the volleyball team, who is a bus driver at Namwela High School. Well, our reporter Duncan Koba has that detail.
On the slopes of Mount Elgon lies the small and colorful physical structures of Namwela Boys High School in Sirisia constituency, Bungoma County. Here is where we meet a newly crowned Soya Best Coach of the Year 2023 in schools category. Isaac Muresia is the head coach of Namwela Boys and the volleyball champion within East African Central Region among schools after beating Namugongo of Uganda 3-1 in Rwanda. Muresia tells us how the journey began and to receive the Soya Awards at KICC last Saturday.
So we won, tukaenda finals, tukakutana na Namugongo. Tulishinda Namugongo 3-1. Na Mungu alikuwa na sisi. Tulipunguza makosa zaidi. Mtoto wangu walipunguza makosa na walijituma sana. Mimi ni driver wa shule. Na drive coaching ndio ilifanya nikaandikwa kwa driver. Mungu amenisaidia sana. Nataka kushukuru Mr. Principal, Mr. Mutaki. Alipoingia kwa hii shule, amekuwa ni baba and a half. Ametusaidia sana. Bodi yetu ya Namwela naishukuru sana kwa sababu wamesimama na sisi. Tulipoenda nationals, in fact wanatuma representative, tunaenda na yeye. Mimi siamini kama kupata hii bronze medal na kupata hii award ya Soya haitakuwa rahisi. Chukazi ambayo inafanya pale kwa na weko kwa maombi, community mzima na nyombea.
However, the school's administration through the deputy head teacher Stephen Nyongesa is proud of the progress that they have made through co-curricular as well as curricular activities.
It was in their genes that they take up volleyball, and even it's by default. It was fixated by even the board of management, including both the stakeholders, that we go for volleyball. And allow me to say that this has helped to develop the talent of youth. Many youth, especially those who are talented in volleyball, make Namwela Boys High School a choice, because they know that locally they will be excellent and also be giving them a platform to go globally.
Nyongesa promises that the school's administration will improve the cooperation between the students, non-teaching and teaching staff in the school to uphold the glory.
Education is an equalizer. not just to learners, but also to teaching and unteaching. So if Isaac Mreshi is a driver and he has a talent of training volleyball, why not give him an opportunity?
The school team is now preparing for the coming World Inter-Schools Championship that will be held in Scandinavian country Serbia next month. The institution is now asking their area MP, Honorable John Waluke, County Government of Bungoma through the Ministry of Sports as well as the Ministry of Sports in the country to support them financially as they make strides toward the maiden tournament.
That's why we request the Ministry of Sports that if they could allow this ground of Namwela Boys High School to be a shooting platform of sports academy in volleyball, it will be good for us. Now we should be actually not just be having a convergence of skills, but also a divergence of skills.
Coach, na kushukuru principal ananielewa na naelewa background yangu vile iko.
Duncan Boba, EBN Sports, Bungoma County.
Well, special thanks to a reporter from Bungoma County, that is Duncan Koba, who has filed that report of the best coach of the Soya Awards in 2023. Isn't it wonderful to see that, you know, this space where high school athletes as well as international athletes can share stage and sometimes outshine them as well. That just means that, you know, the future of our athletes is very well secured and that they're in safe hands if they can make it work in their athletics world. So that is where we want to wrap up tonight. Thank you very much for your wonderful company. The weekend has started. I know the excitement that normally comes with the weekend, but we can only hope that you will be responsible enough to make it through the weekend and start a new week as well. So thank you very much for watching EBN Weekend Edition. See you tomorrow, same time, same place with me, Cynthia Nanjala. I'll be taking you through stories making headlines across the country. You have yourself a wonderful night.